Okay.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Very good.
Okay, I'm gonna start stream starting. I'm still getting like ridiculously horrible, like putrid, horrible throughput on my OBS video. I swear I think I need to get a video card.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think. Don't know nothing else.
Sounds good. I'd get one. Might as well.
Well, easy to say. Ain't cheap.
Well, it depends on the video card you get.
Well,
You could get another one just like the one you got.
what I have is not a video card. I have baked in Intel graphics.
Oh, so basically anything. You'd be all right.
And the reason I got those glorious baked in graphics is so I don't have to worry about drivers. Let me do this. I'm going to change priority. Change in the knife setting. Firefox, because that's what the video is coming out of. No, I'm an idiot. It's not Firefox. I'm an idiot. Hold on.
Yeah. I don't have a ton of apps again. 2 days in a row.
It's okay. That's okay, man. Chrome should, well, you would think Chrome would be Chrome, Google Chrome, because that's what it keeps wanting to call itself. Okay, this time I changed the proper browser's priority, and it already looks better. Okay, we're gonna hope that's it. That's okay, man. We still have to talk. Pixel 2 coming.
To you?
No. Pixels 2 coming. Our tablet's officially dead. You want to? It's always an easy thing to go into.
I need to buy a Chromebook.
I need my Chromebook
For my daughter who's starting college.
There's the video again. Okay, give me a second here. Somebody just released Phantom Android. Paranoid Android just makes all of its elements open source, which is cool. Okay, hold on. Let's say that Chromebook.
Are you doing show prep? What is this? Who is this guy? Bring me back to the door.
Just a couple seconds. If you're worried about having the amount of content, Yeah. This is a good one. Okay. Okay, we are streaming.
There's a new Android OS. Did you hear about that?
Android?
Yeah, no. A new OS built on Android. Let me find it.
Element OS, or I don't know.
I shall find it and we'll talk. Because I don't know that so much about it. I don't even know the name.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, we started our stream already, or everything, didn't we?
It's just, a stream. It ain't the actual show, but yeah.
I found it. Things OS.
Things OS. THINGS-OS.
Mm-hmm. It's just, it's an OS. I didn't know if you talked about a mini PC show yet.
No. Okay. Okay. 476, Eric.
Welcome to the Android App Addicts podcast, episode number 476. This is your friend and podcaster and game player and app reviewer, Eric Ardini. And joined with us is the owner of Podnutz, the host of the show, the Linux guy who keeps my computer running, DoorToDoorGeek. Door, how are you doing tonight, sir?
First off, we're not going to bury the headline. How does it feel now not to have a full beard?
Not, everybody's like, oh, you're going to feel so cold. It's going to be it feels no difference,
I was going to
really.
say, who the hell would say cold?
They thought that I was going to feel breezes on my face that I wasn't used to or something. I don't
No,
know.
I mean, if you went 15 years with a beard and then you shave it off, I could see it feeling weird. I
Right.
mean, I would have expected to say something like more comfortable. My showers are quicker. Um, food doesn't get lost. It hits my shirt and goes down.
Okay. Ice cream is easier to eat. That's the honestly, that's the biggest change. It was almost impossible to eat ice cream with that kind of beard. So yeah, I can eat ice cream, get even fatter.
I guess
Yeah, I know.
congratulations.
I know.
I don't know what to
So
say.
yeah, so I won that. I think I told you that already. I won a little bit of a prize. Won
Yeah,
a
you
little
won
trophy.
a
Trophy.
wall thing, right?
Yeah, and a wall clipper. Yep.
Yeah.
So that was cool. I'm glad. So this week is over. It's been a long. Last week was a long week. It's been a long couple months getting ready for this 150th birthday of the city, and it's finally winding down. We're gonna be our store where we're selling the Rock Falls swag will be open for a couple more days, and then winding it all down and hopefully kind of back to life as usual as normal. But now we're all full mode. Forget about the 150th birthday. Now we're making it a fiber to the home city. Um, the city is setting up their own fiber network, so that will keep me tied up for a while again.
I can see how it could keep you busy.
Yep. So it's gonna be good. So come on and move to the city of Rock Falls, Illinois, and have 10 gigabits to your business and 1 gigabit to your home, up and down.
That's desirable. I will say that.
I might have to get a better camcorder if I get that kind of connectivity here, because I might have more pixels to show off. And
Um,
this is gonna not be good.
well,
I look much better at 480 by 640. Just saying.
gotcha. Well, on the bright side, I don't think we, the listener, could tell the difference either way.
So what are you up to, Door? What's new?
I'm new, really not much. I'll say. Just still repetitively, ongoingly, seemingly taking off lots of work for doctor's appointments for myself, doctor's appointments for my kids. Busy, fun times that aren't really fun.
Yeah, that's not fun. That's not why you need to take time off. That's not what your days off are for. Or
Well,
that's
I,
not the best way to use them.
if I were to argue that, you would have permission to come over and punch me in the face. I should never, I should never argue that point. I will say early to the show disappointments. My Brave browser, Brave browser on every computer today has just went completely horribly bad, crashy, buggy. After performing I don't really do updates on most of my computers with regularity because I dare security researchers to try to penetrate my. Yeah, I said it out loud. So right before the show, 3 reboots on one computer,
Huh.
and now on the other computer, I lost all my links to all my stuff. But thankfully, a little trickery was able to let me get that back. So not a complete loss. Still, I got scared there for a couple seconds.
Do you think that they did an update that broke something, or do you think that they threw in the towel and are giving up and crashed and said, "Hey, we're out of here," going out flaming, or what
N-
happened?
no, Linux side rant. Here is a I don't want to say here is a danger with installing things from non-canon source baked into the operating system, and we do this via a mechanism called PPAs. Installed a PPA to install Brave, and I noticed for almost a week straight, it seemed like my updates were not working correctly because whenever it tried to connect to the Brave server, which turned out to be an Amazon EC2 instance, not their own server, aka extreme laziness, um, that server was taken offline, is what I'm going to guess. So for a couple days, couldn't access it. Then last night things started to work again. So I did the update. So what I'm guessing is the changeover of servers or the refreshing of the servers or something like that had an effect, caused instabilities in my installation. And it's one of those things. Play with fire, you get burnt. Play with science, you get learnt. Oh, I'm really sorry I said that.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
So last week or 2 weeks ago now, the last episode we did, 475, we did not speak of apps. We had a lot of other chat and rants.
Mhm.
But we didn't speak of any apps. We'll probably talk about some apps today, but there's a couple things that I was wondering about, and you pinged me on an email earlier today talking about a new affiliate page, which is podnutz.com/deals, which was a thing before. So do we have some new affiliate links in that then? Do we? Is that what's going on?
We are getting more as time goes on. It's the kind of thing I really do encourage listeners. If you want to support the network and don't want to support via Patreon, like most of you, and you don't want to directly support like most of you, you can go through the deals page where right now, for instance, we have a link to Acer's store, ACER, the manufacturer of laptops and stuff. Direct link to their store where we get kickbacks, and to be quite frank, higher kickbacks than we get on Amazon. We also have an affiliate link for AliExpress. Fans of mini computers or lesser known computers or want to buy certain things in bulk, like if you have a store and you want to buy a lot of 20,000 fidget spinners for $3, you go to AliExpress to buy those kind of lot things. And if you click our affiliate link, we get a little bit. We also have links to Autodesk, who are the manufacturers of software like Fusion 360. Then we have Freedom Pop, which is a mobile carrier service, which offer things like hotspots and phones and just mobile service. And another new one was GearBest. GearBest is a store where I bought my 3D printer. Where right now I still think it's probably the best deal for the printer. If you want it more complete with upgrades, you can buy it from Tiny Machines, which is a US distributor, but GearBest is a worldwide distributor.
Okay. I've never bought anything from GearBest, but I've heard you talk about it a lot.
Yeah, I kind of think them as a outside of the US Amazon, which isn't really right. They really primarily focus with electronics like the GPD handheld that I have. That was where I got it from. I had a Cube i6 or i3 tablet, dual boot tablet I got from there. They have a lot of electronics that you don't regularly find in places like Newegg, which again, I do believe podnutz.com/Newegg still works and podnutz.com/eBay still works.
Hmm.
So we're trying to give people options, and I will publicly say, for the first time, maybe this is step one towards rolling out the full marketing machine on Podnutz. You are now, sooner or later, the clock has already started ticking. You're going to start to hear every show interrupted roughly every 20 minutes, if possible, by ads to help compensate network losses.
Yeah. Had to happen. So I'm looking for a Chromebook, but I don't know if I want an Acer. Acer would be okay, I guess. I've kind of already. It's not for me. It's for my daughter. She's going to college. I kind of had my heart set on the Asus Flip or something like that. The new one though, with a Pentium, with a Intel Core M processor,
That
64 gigs, 4 gig RAM.
In all of my experience, the Chromebook is not very nice.
Okay,
The,
so
the
I
touch screen is a nicety. The fact that it flips, it still doesn't flip right. It flips like it maybe has a muscle disease of some sort.
is this the one? Did you have that one for a short time? Is that the one
I
you
still
had?
have it. I still have it, and I don't use it because it's underwhelming. Here's my site. Here's my site. I sometimes have people ask me, I'm on Verizon, my phone just broke. I don't want to spend a lot of money. What's my best choices? Or, questions like that. I also
Mhm.
get questions about, I have this much money to spend. What kind of Chromebook should I get? And then I usually come back with a couple questions, and I use this site, which is chromebookchart.com, to basically try to figure out what's important to you. I mean, so like I would ask your daughter, does she need it to be as fast as it possibly can? Does she need an extremely long battery life? Um, how important is the touch screen? Does she have a preferred size? Does her courses in college pertain to art, photography, or anything that would need higher resolution screens? Is touch, I mean, is weight important? Some people don't mind if it's a 2.5, 3 pound Chromebook. Some people want things that are very light. Android apps, most of them now you have to go into dev mode, but is Android apps important? So I would say, like any good Samaritan, when asked an important question like what kind of Chromebook should I get, I bounce back with at least 5 to 10 questions of my own, because there is no one perfect solution. Intel processors in general are nice, are really, really, really nice on Chromebooks. But if battery life is important, I would encourage you to not make that a underlying reason that you're buying one of these, because it has an Intel processor in it.
Right. Well, you know me, and I've already done a lot of research on these things. I don't just go into buying something like that willy nilly. And she's already not a big fan of Asus because she had an Asus Windows computer that I got her when she went into high school, and it worked good for a little while. Touchscreen never worked. I mean, it's just like any I don't know, the touchscreens in my home that went from Windows 8 to Windows 10 stopped working. So hers stopped working, so she didn't get to use it. So she didn't like it. She would like to have a touchscreen, but I don't know. I use for work a Chromebook now that's it's a Lenovo, and it does not have an Intel processor, and I'm pretty underwhelmed with that. But it's about $200 cheaper though than this one I'm looking at for her.
Right? What kind of battery life do you get out of that thing?
It's about 9 hours. It's good battery life. It's got a MediaTek processor in it.
Right? Yeah, because to me that's one of the things. If she's going to college, if she plans on being like a full-time student, um, she might want to be careful about what kinds you pick up, because not all of them have 7 plus or 8 plus hour batteries. If battery isn't important and she doesn't mind carrying around a cord and plugging it in once in a while, the world is available to her. I mean, then it's just a question. And if she's not extremely picky, I'll say, about touchscreen, weight, resolution, or size overall, I would just say then just find one that's a good deal. I mean, period. They're all A lot of them are going to perform around the same.
Mhm.
The NVIDIA Tegra, which I do believe it's only like one or two of them out there, they perform fantastic for the battery. But typically what happens once you start to go Celeron, you get less battery life per milliwatt hour versus ARM. And there's the direct trade-off. Battery life, performance. If performance is more important, you almost have to go Intel. And if, battery life's important, you almost have to go ARM. Now it's not, there are ones that do the other, because, this Intel might have a gigantic battery in it. Um, and here's the beautiful thing. I hate saying it like this, Eric. Since when you power it on, you're going to have the exact same experience basically on all of them, except for touchscreen and Android apps. It makes the choices to me much easier based upon sale prices. So what I would say is, honestly, I would beg her not to go against Asus just because of one bad experience.
I
Um,
agree. I mean, I've been I swear by Asus, as far as their motherboards for years and things like that. Um, Not a big fan of HP or a number of the other ones. My son's
yeah,
got an HP Chromebook, and he's had it for 2 years now, and it's been fine for him.
right,
But she's had a MacBook Pro. She's had an Ultrabook, an Asus Ultrabook. She's kind of, she's kind of tasted the better life, I guess, when it comes
right.
to the higher end stuff. And I don't think I know she wouldn't be happy with the Chromebook I own, that I get from work, even though it's a touchscreen. But this one's got the light up keyboard, which is nice when you're doing homework at night, stuff like that. Touchscreen and everything like that.
Yeah, if she's used to a MacBook, a Lenovo is not the same. I love Lenovo. They're more utilitarian, less design. So Lenovo's to me then would be completely out of the question. Well, the one manufacturer longtime listeners would expect me not to suggest, I would suggest you look at if style is important, and honestly, that's the Samsung Chromebooks. I do believe right now, unfortunately, they only have one version that is an Intel-based processor, and that's their $1,000 Samsung Plus, I think it's called.
I did ask her what was more important, a light up keyboard or a pen stylus. She has no interest in the stylus.
Okay, well,
which is the selling point for the high end Samsung.
Good point. I don't think this site tells you at all about light up keyboards. That's one thing you can't look at. Acer are fine. I'll say that. Acer are fine, middle of the road performance with middle of the road pricing. You're not going to spend a lot for an Acer. I'm not sure it will have the luster, the lean that she would be satisfied with, is what I'll say. If you can, oh man, and I know this ain't good because there's no such thing as a Best Buy close to you or anything, right?
Well, I was thinking about taking her up to Chicago to a Micro Center just to hold them in the hand. I know I totally think that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
No, Best Buy is just as close as Micro Center, really. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, I would do that just so she can experience the Dell ones. Because to be honest, the Dells to me are a good hybrid between Lenovo and luxury. Lenovo's are definitely built to last, built firmer, built thicker. Dells seem to be a little bit more trimmed, a little bit more clean looking, while still maintaining, in my experience, really good build quality. And most Chromebooks don't have Ethernet ports, for instance. I want to say about half of the Dells do, which is one of those little niceties that might come in handy down the road.
The thing that steers me away from Dell is their lack of support after you purchase it. It's just not phone support. Just I bought a tablet, a Dell, I don't know, Venue 10 or whatever. There's no no updates ever.
Well, Dell has nothing to do with that.
No?
Dell has nothing to do with anything on the operating system. So that's a plus. You don't have to worry about their updates. They're all controlled by Google. This is like getting an iPhone.
Oh, you mean on the Chromebook part?
Yeah.
On the Chromebook side. Okay, right. Okay, all right. I don't know. I was soured by Dell after that. I kind of swore myself not to buy any more Dell products, but I look around here. There's a lot of Dell monitors looking at me, and a couple XPSs sitting over there.
Well, and I hate saying it like this, Eric. One of the things I try to do, and no, not giving parent advice. I'm just telling you, me, and this is just me. I have a really hard time holding back and not portraying my biases upon my children.
Oh yeah.
But it is a goal of mine to do, and it is not easy to do. It is so not easy to do. So like I don't want my kids to grow up not liking mustard. Yes, Steve C, I'm thinking of you.
Yeah.
I don't want my kids to think they don't like mustard because they heard dad say, do you want any mustard on that? Hell no, I don't want no mustard on that. So I would say don't try to let your biases seep into her decision. She already has her own biases. You know what I mean? She thinks ASUS isn't good. Huh. I would just ask you not to like poison the waters.
Yeah, I think the in-hand thing is what we got to do. We just got to do that. And I'm taking her up to Chicago in 2 weeks. I just don't know if I need to have a laptop before we go.
Oh well, well.
Yeah,
the good thing is, no matter, hey, one of the most important things, if you want this thing to really last, let her go physically pick one out. Then what you have to do is you have to look at, I want to say, now that I think about it, I'll have to check up on this and I'll report next week. Chrome end of life support, I want to say it's 5 years, and I cannot remember if it's 5 years from the initial launch date of the device or 5 years from the last date it was sold by the manufacturer. because like you don't want to get something that in under a year you're going to stop getting OS updates for. If she wants to take this to college, my logic is college for more than 1 year. So I'll check that out and I'll shoot you a link and we'll bring it up next week on the show, because that to me on I don't want to make decisions off of these kinds of things because I'm not a fear mongering security fanatic, but it is one of those niceties that you don't have to worry as much if you're getting the security updates. Is the way I put it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's cool. And I might be able to wait a week for her to check those out. And I and I don't know, maybe I bought her the wrong Asus and poisoned the water there a little bit, but I I understand her point. I mean, I've got an HP that's it's exactly the same way though, and it's not the laptop's fault that it's a pile of crap. It's really Microsoft.
Well, and every company cannot ensure every single device is perfect. You're always going to have lemons happen from time to time. It's just a simple matter of life.
So, Door, enough of that Chromecast. This is not Chromecast or Chrome OS Addicts. This is Android App Addicts.
I believe the show would be called Chronic Chromebook Chronicles, maybe.
CCC. Yeah,
CCC. Yeah.
I'm ready. Let's do it. Chronic Chromecast Chronicles. I don't use my Chromebook enough to be chronic yet. If I turn the dev on, I could probably get some Android support on it, which would help me towards my chronicism of it. But I don't know.
Kind of.
Since I'm the host, I get to pick who goes first. So I'm going to say I do.
Okay, you do.
Is that just fair? Thank you, Mark, for letting me go first.
Sure.
So my first app of the night is an app that I think you should have probably played by now. But I'm going to bring it. It's called WWE Tap Mania. And basically, this is a wrestling app that you just tap, 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 tap. And it's by Sega. And it's just kind of like there's no real strategy to it. Just tapping, a ton of tapping.
Okay, I was going to say plot, strategy, or technique.
And it's all your favorite characters in cartoon wrestling against you, kind of. But it's more like Mike Tyson's Punch Out than wrestling.
But technically speaking, I'm just going to break it down here. Technically speaking, Mike Tyson's Punch Out was a puzzle game.
I gotcha. I hear what you're saying there.
Because you had to figure out patterns. It was not a boxing game or sports game. And this is neither. This is a battle of attrition. How long can you tap, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. First off, it most assuredly doesn't have all of my favorite wrestlers, because I see people like John Cena in it. So that right there negates that. Second,
it's got the Macho Man Randy Savage though, so that's cred.
That's good, but he's dead. So, it's portrait mode. I'm a snob when it comes to wrestling video games. I was a fan of Fire Pro Wrestling, Virtual Pro Wrestling. Nintendo 64 was really my gaming console of choice back in the day, because they literally had something like 16 wrestling games, and 8 or 10 of them were really good. But the reason they were really good was because you could really do genuine strategy, and if you knew what you were doing in the game, you really could pull off genuine wrestling things. You could, do hot tags. You could, rush them. You could almost cheat in it, kind of thing. This is nothing more than just exercising getting carpal tunnel syndrome, it looks like.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it plays, just like that.
And it's by Sega with 59,000 reviews. That's a lot of reviews. 4.7 average reviews, between 1 million and 5 million installs. Version 1.1. It says completely free, does have both in-app purchases and ads. Thank you, Sega. Net purchases between $1.99 and $99 per item. Oh my. That's what I'm going to say. I mean, a game that has The Rock and Undertaker and stuff like that, it's going to catch my attention. But if I download it and figure out all I can do is punch, I can't do any pile drivers. I can't do any snap mares. I can't do any hip tosses. It's going to lose a little bit of its luster, especially if I can't do the flying burrito from Tito Santana. Then I'm going to feel like I'm definitely missing something.
I'm not saying that you can't do all that maybe later. I didn't see it when I was playing it.
No. I would happily stake one of my toes that there is nothing but punching in this game.
No over-the-shoulder boulder holder.
It's not a wrestling move.
I thought Itchy Scratchy did that one.
Itchy and Scratchy?
No, not Itchy and Scratchy. Itchy Scratchy. It was Cheech and Chong.
Oh.
That wrestling show.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. What's your app, Door?
My app is now for something completely different. This is a unreleased app that I hate when this does it. God,
I actually wrote that to my lawyer today when in an email. And now for something completely different.
Good man. This is one of those what I'm going to classify almost as like maintenance applications. This is the kind of app you want on your phone if you think either something is overacting or you don't see yourself using an app like every single day. My classic example for this app would be if you have to have Facebook installed on your phone.
Yeah, I have to.
That wasn't for you. That was for the entire world and you.
I have to because it's my job. Otherwise, I wouldn't.
Well, okay. I think we need to get into the definition of have to, but we'll do that later.
Okay.
This app is called Island from Oasis Fang. It's a tools app. It's a good tools apps are not easy to find these days. I'm just telling you, people, since we've been through well over 5,000 apps, to find good tools apps is not easy. You need to recognize. This is E for everyone. This is an unreleased app, maybe unstable. Unreleased also means typically no ads, no in-app purchases, just because it's in unreleased status. Completely free, might cost money when it comes out. Don't know. No reviews because it's unreleased. Between 10,000 and 50,000 installs already. Updated July 31st. I'm going to tell you this is going to be a popular app just because of some of the basic features that are built in it. Now, the name of the app, the icon of the app means nothing to anybody. Island. No. Okay. What this app is, it's a management type app that can take and do at least 5 things to apps on your phone. One, it can isolate an app. When you isolate an app, what it means is it basically cuts it off from things like your contacts list. So hypothetically, you want to use Voxer, your operating system is completely neutered because you happen to like your Samsung Galaxy S8, and you really want to make sure that when you install Voxer, it doesn't have access to things. Well, you can install this app, put it on an island, makes sense now, and then you can isolate the app from rest of the things on the system. Your other options are to clone an app. So hypothetically, Eric, you have to run Facebook for your job, but you really can't stop yourself from running Facebook for your poker league or something. You can take the Facebook app and clone it. So you can have 2 copies of the app running, one for your personal needs, one because you have to have it installed for work. The next one is freeze app. So hypothetically, you have to have the app installed on your phone, but you hate the fact that it's running. You simply freeze the app and you unfreeze it when you want to run it, and then you freeze it again. So you're assured it's not doing things in the background when you're not running it. The fourth one is to hide an app. Hypothetically, once again, you went out and bought a Samsung phone, and before you realize that you power it on and there's 8 to 10 or 12 sometimes apps in the app drawer that you can't get rid of, that you don't understand why they're there. You can click hide and at least make your app drawer a little bit more pleasing to the eye by hiding the Samsung calendar, the Samsung notes, the Samsung contacts, the Samsung camera, the Samsung, et cetera, et cetera.
Can you freeze it and then hide it too, just to make sure it's not doing anything?
I'm honestly pretty sure you can. I thought I did two activities on one app. I pretty sure I isolated it and cloned it at the same time. And the last one, which I think is one of the most potentially useful ones, you can literally archive an app. This is the best of all worlds, which literally means you can install Facebook from the Play Store, open it up, do what you need to do, archive it, which means uninstall it, yet keep the APK on your phone. So there's no chance of any of it being left anywhere in your file system even, and then you reinstall it. Now the downside is from what I believe, if you archive it, you have to reinstall it and then establish the settings, the login, and things like that. So this to me is one of those apps I really do encourage a lot of people to download, a lot of people to install, because I guarantee you at least half the people who listen to this show can find a use case where this would fit in really good. And it's one of those apps I encourage people to keep on their phone, just so when someone complains to them about an app, you can suggest them the app and you can even show them here's how it works, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean that last part I could see good for traveling, where you just would you say archive all your important apps or all your social media apps when you're traveling in case you lose your phone or something like that, and then when you get to where you're going, even if you don't have a Wi-Fi connection, you can reinstall them. Because sometimes you get where you're going, you don't have Wi-Fi. That might work.
Well, yeah,
'Cause
or right, or and you just know I use this app when I go on long road trips. We're not going on a long road trip for 3 or 6 months, so let me just archive it, because sometimes if you
Mm,
uninstall something, either A, you can't figure out the name of it when you wanna go back and find it.
right.
B, it was sold off and now it's called something different and it's hard to find it. Or C, it's been taken off the Play Store for one reason or another.
Or it got updated, quote unquote updated, and now it's neutered and doesn't do what you wanted it to do before. The new version just doesn't work as good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that. Good app, Door. Good app.
Yeah. These are the kind of apps that to be honest, they're obviously not easy to make, or we would have a billion of them. This is one of the few apps I've seen that does this kind of thing, but actually gives you the option to not only clone, but or it could isolate and clone. It's doing a lot of the things that I've seen smaller apps do, combining them into one app instead of having to have 3 or 4 of them.
I was just gonna look to see, do we have any emails this week?
Yes, we have 3.
Good. So we will
2 from Todd, 1 from the man, the I can't remember, the Sultan of the Soapbox, Mark Cockrell himself.
oh yeah, that's right. Wonder why I don't see that.
You
I
haven't
know I
opened
saw
it yet.
Mark's come in. There's Mark's. Okay. So Mark Cockrell emailed us, and he is bringing in an app called Wabbitemu. No, I'm sorry, Wabbitemu. 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 And this looks like it creates a Texas Instruments graphing calculator right on your Android device. So you don't have, so all those people who have kids in whatever grade requires that. Mark says, I thought I'd send an app in absentia. My favorite part about this app is that it'll go grab the ROM for you. So okay, so it's an emulator, but it also gets the ROM for you for these graphing calculators. And honestly they've come down in price a lot, but they're still 80-90 bucks for these graphing calculators from Texas Instruments. And this just turns your phone into that, or your kid's phone into that, as long
A-
as your kid's teacher will let her or him have the phone out in the classroom.
Well, there are certain classes where you have to have a calculator. You have to have a graphing calculator. They're
Mhm.
typically like sophomore, junior, senior, maybe now freshmen can have this class too. But in my high school, I remember my tremendously affluent school I went to called Glen Burnie High School that the locals nicknamed Glen Burnout High School. And the same school where a bunch of teachers got fired for selling beer to the students, but we're not going to go there. There was at least classes when I was a junior in high school where I had to have a calculator. And if I remember, there was at least one or two of those calculators that I don't want to say you couldn't emulate. It was hard, people said, to emulate. And if you had that one class, I believe it literally was calculus, you literally had to go spend like $120 for that calculator. I love this idea. I can honestly see a bunch of kids sitting in a classroom with their phone out. Now my real question with this app is, will it keep your screen on? Nobody wants to have to unlock their phone every time they need to type numbers into a calculator. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it says it supports the TI-73, TI-81, TI-82, TI-83, 83 Plus, 83 Plus Silver Edition, 84 Plus, 84 Plus Silver Edition, 85, and 86. Boy, Texas Instruments, boy, they really had their market cornered till now. So I
literally have mine. Oh man, that's a lot of
you
dust.
got the nice case, the slide-on case that goes over the back. Yeah.
I have mine literally sitting right here.
How often do you use that?
Oh, never.
I know,
Texas
yeah.
Instruments TI-81. I do remember having to use this thing and really not really.
That's not a fun class that you used it in.
And I don't think I did too good in that class. Okay, let me just come clean with everyone. I didn't do good in any class except if that class was called playing hooky. Then I did really good in it.
You know, you talk about your high school. Our high school had an S curve that went out in front of it where you'd like pull in your car to drop people off and stuff. And I had a math teacher my freshman year. And are you familiar with the term hypotenuse?
Hypotenuse triangle?
Yeah. So he wanted us to remember as a freshman hypotenuse by saying those people that are standing out there at the S curve are getting high from the pot that's in use. Hypotenuse.
All righty. Nice teacher you have there.
Never forgot it. It worked, you know.
Okay. I just remember, my mother and your mother were hanging up clothes. My mother punched your mother in the nose.
That's more third grade. That's not.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. It all just blends together, Eric.
So did you make the little paper things that you put your fingers in, and you move them back and forth and up and down, and then you got to pull one up? Oh, Julie.
No.
Yellow.
Yes and no. First off, I was into origami before I knew it was called origami. Secondly, I would write underneath all the tabs, "You're dead" or something like that, just to like troll the other students. Yeah, I believe this app is either called Wabbitemu or it's called Wabbitemu. It might be one of those things, whatever helps you find the app better, or you could always just click on the show, go into the notes and click it there. But yeah,
it is by Buckeye Dude. It has a wabbit on the icon, so I'm guessing it's Wabbitemu, but I don't know what.
I'm gonna argue for argument's sake and say that's not a rabbit, that's a hare.
Okay, look at those eyes; those are definitely emu eyes on that wabbit.
Quite emu.
All right, let me bring in another app while I'm looking for the other emails. So this app is another game. I'm just bringing games tonight, and this is called Upside Down. I believe somebody in our Google Plus community gave me this app, and it's kind of just a nice, endless kind of ball side-scrolling app that you basically have to jump up or jump down depending on the level, and you're jumping in the air or into the water when you go up and down. You're just like jumping across islands and just avoiding things and collecting souls.
Oh, okay. I didn't know we were going there.
Well,
apparently we are.
Yeah, I mean that's what they call them in the game.
Wow, this does not go slow either. My goodness,
it's not an easy game.
Does it ever slow down? Is there like slow down power ups? Because this damn thing, oh man, no way.
I don't think I saw any slowdowns.
Hell no, I ain't even trying this thing. I already have a problem with stress. I got diabetes. Now you're trying to give me a stroke?
So it's a really pretty app.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the icebergs that are down below are cool, and the mountains that are above are nice. Yeah, just or buildings more, I guess, not iceberg or icebergs down below. I pictured them as and like buildings up above. He's got to jump over and go under. Yeah, no, it's not an easy game. But it's a nice looking little app.
Definitely a good looking game. I'm serious. It's too quick for me. I mean, maybe I'm old. I know it's the lower sugar levels in my blood that are making my reflexes hard to react as fast as this game wants me to. Done. Excuse done. That's what I'm saying.
It's your what and your what?
My lower glucose levels in my blood.
So you need a sugary snack?
I can't have a sugary snack. I'm a pre-diabetic now.
I don't understand diabetes as well as I should.
Well, don't watch the documentary called "What the Health" because they try to say it's caused by, aggravated by, whatever, by fat in your diet.
And it's not.
Hell no, ain't no fat in the diet. It's sugar.
Sugar, yeah.
It's sugar and lack of exercise, and it's carbs. I realized after I got pre-diabetic, 2/3 seemingly of every meal was either potatoes, rice, pasta, something like that. You know, whether it be a cheeseburger sub with French fries, or hash browns and a baked potato on the side of my meal. I was eating way too much of that stuff and drinking, like more than a 2-liter of soda a day.
Yeah, that's not good. The soda, man.
Yeah. So now drink water, eat. The good thing about diabetes, because you always got to look on the bright side of life. Monty Python told me that. All the bacon and eggs I want.
Well, yeah.
Because there ain't no sugar in bacon and eggs, and there ain't no carbs in bacon and eggs.
How about liquid caffeine? You still do that?
Oh yeah.
Just throw that in water?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know how it mixed or what.
Well, and Monsters have drinks with low carbs is what I'm going to say. I believe no sugars and very low carbs, and they're tasty. So I've been drinking them too.
All right. I did find an email from Todd Evans, and he says, "Hey guys, I am a puzzle game fan. I enjoy word puzzles a lot, gem puzzles a bit, block puzzles somewhat, word block puzzles occasionally, gem block word puzzles. You get the idea. I'm not one for Sudoku, trigonometry, or the Pythagorean theorem. I guess I must be dumb as a box of hair when it comes to this logic traces game. I watched the video for it, read the description twice, scrolled through the screenshots. I still don't get it. I didn't actually download it and try it because I couldn't figure out why I should if I don't understand it. I'll just send this off to you guys to read while my humiliation settles in. Let me pull the covers over my head as I toss my man card in the bedside trash receptacle. One last sip of chamomile hibiscus tea first. Hope someone can enjoy it. Keep up the great show. Well, I'm looking at it, and I wasn't even one who got Minesweeper. So your man card is still with you, man.
Well, and man has nothing to do with this thing. Here's the only logic you got to know about this game. The number represents how many blocks, not counting the one you're on, you have to take out. So if there's a 1, you only need one arm to come off of your dot, and it only needs to go into one cube. It's like those tracer games where you have to connect red, blue, green, orange, and at the same token, take up the entire cube or
like building
square.
Circuits kind of.
Exactly. This is the same thing except the opposite. You have 4 dots on the screen, at least in the beginning. Each dot is a different number. Each number corresponds to how many blocks you have to take out. So if there's a number 4, you can come off of it one way, one time each way, 1, 2, 3, 4, and take out 4 blocks, making a cross. Or you can go 4 down and take out all 4 beneath you, kind of thing. But the goal is to completely fill up the board. And it looks like you can only go in straight lines. There's no curves.
I in watching the video, Door, I kind of see what you're saying.
Well,
But
just
I'm with Todd. This looks hard,
oh,
and it
yeah, I didn't say
doesn't look that fun.
I didn't say it was easy. Like if you pause the video on the one that has on the board, need help, use hints, starting from the left, top left, going down to the bottom right. The numbers are 4, 3, 7, 5, 1, 1, 1, 6.
Mhm.
So if you take a look at the 7, you pause it, you can count the number of blocks that the 7 is intersecting with. 1 at the top, 1 on the right, that's 2. 2 on the left, that's 4, and then 3 beneath it add up to 7.
So not counting the block with the number.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, nothing about this looks easy. With that said, I'm not sure I would find a lot of genuine entertainment in this game. I think I would find genuine aggravation.
Right. I agree. But now, so you could with the 7, you could go 2 and 4 and 1 and 1, or I don't know. You don't have to. You get to lay out which 7 blocks you use.
Yes,
You get that.
but I will say a huge majority of the puzzles are reverse engineered, which means they first write dots out and draw the lines, then they count the blocks, then they put the numbers in the blocks, then they erase the lines. Thus, there's typically only 1, maybe 2 ways that it actually can be solved.
So you're going into this where somebody has already drawn it all out, and they came back, and now you've got to figure out the puzzle for that square, that grid.
Yes,
It's
and
not okay. Gotcha.
well, and I'll say there's a couple basic rules with these kinds of games. Most of the time, the rules are corners are good places to start at, and bigger numbers are good to start at. You never want to start with a number 1 because it's too vague which way it could go. If you're at a corner and the number's 8, well, there's only 2 ways you can go. So no matter what, it's going to total out to 8, either 4 up, 4 down, or 7 up, 1, over. I mean, so corners are nice because they're limiting. It's the inverse of playing Minesweeper, is what I want to say.
The small numbers give you more flexibility.
No, big numbers
Save
give you
them.
more flexibility. Small numbers are actually more straining because you have a 1 in the corner. Well, it can only go up or to the side once. Where there's 8 in a corner, you can look up and see, well, can I go all the way up? Or is something else eventually going to block me, kind of thing. It's finding the limits for each stage. And yeah, this is the kind of game, there's no doubt. I mean, I'm not trying to sound like Weird Al Yankovic in one of his videos, but I played a lot of Minesweeper. I played
Play for days.
I played a lot of Minesweeper, and I had the math, I had the algos really figured out really good, where I knew where the blocks were at well ahead of the time. And I knew 50-50 chance with these 2 blocks, 33 and a third % with these 3 blocks, kind of thing. I knew all the odds and percentages. There's no doubt I could literally just pwn this game. But to quote a popular internet video, I ain't got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read Todd's next email. But Todd seems to like the puzzle games this week. So Todd says, rebounding from the doldrums of my previous email, I found this little gem. I couldn't check the spreadsheet since I misplaced my bookmark for it. Don't ask. I played up through level 6, and I have to say that I really liked the game, graphics, and the relaxing music. The graphics were reminiscent of Monument Valley, while the game hooked me both while the game hooked me both with the audio and visuals. The full screen video ads with audio twice as loud as the game made me want to scream. I saw 2 ads in the 6 levels I played. The first was horrible. The second was slightly less horrible. The jarring transition from relaxing zen-like music to pounding action techno was more than I could bear. I'm sorry. In the brief time I spent with this game, I genuinely loved it. Fortunately, I was able to pay for the game and be free from the torture of the full screen video ads. They offered a pay what you want style of purchase, with 99 cents being the lowest amount. I chose to give them more because I felt that it was a great game providing exceptional value. Hope some other listeners find the game enjoyable as well and support the developers. Take care, guys. Again, from Todd Evans. Thank you, Todd, for 2 emails and 2 apps. I have not played this one yet either. Door, have you checked this Aqueducts out?
I'll just tell you, I don't have to check this out because I already know this game. The best way I can describe this game to people, it's unbelievably beautified pipes. The old game where on 2 edges of the cube pattern, you had 2 pipes, and then you had scrambled pipes in the middle. You click each one of the squares, it rotates 90 degrees, and you figure out the pattern. Now, what I like about this game is you do not have to use all the pieces. I hated the pipes game where you had to run the water through the entire cube rectangle area. Those drove me absolutely nuts. I genuinely like the fact that you do not, and it looks like at least in 1 or 2 of the puzzles, it doesn't matter. You can't use all the pieces. So I honestly like that. It does look really good. I don't mind paying 99 cents. I really don't. This might be the perfect kind of relaxation game where I can give it to my kid, because to me this is a great mental exercise because
Yeah.
it forces you to see things and in your mind rotate things that aren't yet rotated and see the outcome.
And this is Aqueducts by UA Joy Tech from Ukraine. Do you have aqueducts in Maryland? Do you guys use
Uh,
them?
I know we used to have functioning aqueducts out by Rocky Gap State Park, out by the mountains, the Appalachians. Where I'm at, I would honestly expect back in the day there was, but with I know we have a covered bridge close. Is that aqueductish? No, it's not really.
Yeah.
It's the opposite.
Aqueducts are neat. One of my funnest places to visit when I was a teenager was the Aqueduct, the only one I've actually ever been to. But it's cool. It's basically a bridge for water to go across another body of water so they don't mix.
Well, or it used to be a way to transport fresh water.
Right. Yeah,
The-
like in Greece, that was full of aqueducts to move water.
right, and the gimmick was over 80 miles you could have this stream of water going. The gimmick was where it started, it was like 12 feet above sea level. Where it ended, 11 feet above sea level. You didn't need a drastic change in uh, verticals, as long as it was a change in vertical, and the water would always just naturally flow down. Um,
Yeah. This canal that's attached to the aqueduct that goes right behind my house, it goes 29 miles and drops 2.5 feet.
yeah,
The entire 20.
yeah,
It's like I think it's an inch a mile or something.
yeah. To me, they're really cool. The one I seen actually, I don't think was at Rocky Gap. Now that I talk about it, I want to say it was 15 Mile Creek in Maryland, and I believe that's where it was, and it was pretty beat to hell, is what I'm going to say. If I remember, I remember my mom screaming for us to get off of it because we would die. But my mom was from the South Bronx in New York. She didn't have no idea what the hell an aqueduct was.
That's cool. All right, Dor. Todd hooked me up with those apps, so I'm gonna steal them from him. What do you got?
What I'm going to bring next is another tools app.
Good.
Another tools app, people, that is actually useful if you're into mini computers, Raspberry Pis, Orange Pis, Banana Pis, Nano Pis, uh, latte boards, Rock 64s, Arduino. I mean, it just Pine 64s, chips. It goes on and on and on and on. But if you find it sometimes either difficult to image the SD card because in the PC world, when you install an operating system, you put in boot media. You typically put in a CD-ROM or a USB key, boot to that by hitting a certain key during boot, and then you boot to that, then you click install, and that's how you install your operating systems. Well, on mini computers, it's the complete opposite. Basically, the hard drive typically on a mini computer is easily removable because it's not a hard drive. It's actually a micro SD card in most of them. So what that means is the installation process is the opposite. Instead of booting to something, reading from something, and then writing to your internal disk, you pull out your internal disk, connect it to another device, and you write an image to it. You burn to it. On Windows, you can use tools like WinDisk Imager or uh, Etcher.io. I will say, if you use any tool and you image the card the first time and you put it in your device, then the first time it boots perfectly, go out and buy a Powerball ticket or a Mega Millions ticket or a Lotto ticket, because that never happens to anybody that I've ever met. This app can hopefully ease that task, and this is called PISD Card Imager by Mike Redrobe. 105 reviews, no in-app purchases, no ads, no cost, 3.4 average reviews, updated April 19th, 2017, between 10,000 and 50,000 installs, current version 1.04. No real permissions that I can remember, except for, of course, SD card access, photo media, and network access. And the reason network access is I do believe it will actually allow you to download certain things right from the interface, like Noobs, which, if you don't know, it's a very easy thing to do.
Don't they do updates a lot of times as they're writing to disks too? Don't they go out and grab updates sometimes?
Well, that's why they need network access. If there's a new version of Noobs out, it can automatically update it. Now, the reason this does not have a 5.0 review and it only has 3.4 is it doesn't matter how good of a piece of software anybody creates when it comes to SD cards and how it's seen inside of the Android operating system. Some of it comes down to hardware, some of it comes down to OS versions, some of it comes down to the personal preference of the company or organization that created that Android OS, or tweaked it, if you will. So it's not going to work perfectly on all the devices. Here's one of the things that I like about it. Even if you don't have an SD card on your phone, you can use an OTG connector to a micro SD card and this will still work. And I know it will still work because I did it. And I was very happy it worked on my device. I really like this if you're running one of the more popular boards, like a Raspberry Pi. You can rest assured that virtually everything you download and install is just going to work perfectly. If you're running a lesser known board like an Odroid C2 or an Odroid XU4 or just something less popular than the Raspberry Pi, some of these images actually might work enough to where they boot, or you can simply just go copy down the IMG file yourself and put it on your internal storage and then point it to that, and it should work just fine. So i.e., you have your Raspberry Pi in your backpack doing what we used to call war driving, but now it's just, doing some pineappling around, and you want to change your operating system. All you need is your phone, and you can pull the SD card out, connect it to your phone, write a new image to it, put it back in the device, and boot. And now you have a whole new operating system. I love the flexibility with this. I'm only going to use it in extreme circumstances because I don't find it any more easy or difficult than the Linux DD command because I'm a weenie. So it's to me, this is a really cool app, a really good useful app. I am going to keep it on my phone in archive mode just in case there comes a time I need it. I will have it.
Was IMG burn a thing we used to use for SD cards, or was that just for making boot disks?
It was Win IMG burn. Yeah. Win IMG 32 or Win IMG burn 32. Yeah.
Okay, and so if you've got a device that has an SD card on it and it doesn't work the first time, do you think, say if the manufacturer of that device has gummed up the operating system somewhat to make it maybe not as good. You think it might be worth a try with an OTG on the same device?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Absolutely. Because an OTG will be treated different. It will be handled differently and treated differently than an actual physical SD card by nearly any OS.
So if you're messing around with mini PCs a lot and you've got an extra older, Android phone laying around, it might be a good second life for that phone. Just doing these for you because it's not that easy on Windows, and a lot of the older ones would have the SD cards.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And to get a little nerdy, the only option I didn't see in this tells me this would almost never work burning an Android based image. Typically, when you burn Linux or Debian or Arch or Ubuntu based images, you burn with a block size of 4 meg. And typically with Android ones, you don't burn it 4 meg. Don't ask me why. And I'm not going to say it's because it'll take too long. Don't ask me why, because I don't know. Android ones typically require different block sizes, and I don't see that as being an option. So as long as you're running a Linux-based distribution on that SD card, it should probably work fine.
I'll have to give it a try. I got some sort of Pi device sitting right here that actually has a micro SD just card sitting out of it. I don't know what's installed under anything at the moment. I think it's a Pi Zero.
Well, it's good when your device, either you don't know what's installed on it or you don't know the IP address and it's up and running, because that just means it's running that rock solid. Now, if you don't know the name of it because it's unplugged and you haven't booted in 3 months.
That's probably it has no power lights on it currently. So no.
Right. Yeah. Well,
not the right way.
Well, to completely go against the popularity contest of microcomputing, I will say I am utterly, constantly disappointed in the Raspberry Pi Zero. Just because it does so little. It does so little and it's so weak. Granted, it's only $5 or whatever, but thank God it's only $5 because I'd be really mad if I paid more.
Correct. Door, my tank's empty, so I'm going to let you keep rolling on.
Okay. The next thing I'm going to bring is an app that I'm going to try to bring tomorrow night to the makers. I say try to because it's sometimes a little bit difficult to get a word in edgewise when I'm dealing with 6 other guys who are far more intelligent when it comes to 3D printing, CNCing, and making them myself. But I found this to be really cool. It's called Graphite, Graphite, which I do think is the right way to spell it. Maybe I don't know.
Yep.
Graphite STL/GCode viewer. Tangent Line is the company. It's a tool. Again, a tool. E for everyone. 469 reviews. Does have ads. Does have in-app purchases. 4.2 average reviews. Updated August the 3rd, 2016. Between 50,000 and 100,000 installs, version 2.3.1. Semi-frequently, I want to verify that what is being printed on my printer is exactly what I thought it was, in the position I thought it was, and the number that I thought it was. Because sometimes we need to print like legs for something, and I think, did I print 8 or did I print 10? And I don't want to go back to my computer and I reboot it up and load the slicer application and find the file. And I sometimes I just don't want to do that. So what I do is I load this application. I remotely connect to my Octoprint over my network, like a network share, pull the file down, copy to my phone, load it in this app, and unbelievably quick, it gives me a 3D representation of what is being printed if it was complete. And I can spin, I can rotate, I can flip, I can flop, I can look around and see what it is that I'm choosing to print. Same thing if I download what are called STL files from websites like Thingiverse or Yegi. I can verify that this looks like what I think it's going to look like when I get to my computer to load in my slicer to create the G code to do the printing. So I like this because mobile on the go, I don't have to upload it to a service and view the files, what it looks like. I can just load it in an app on my phone. And I haven't had any bugginess, any crashiness, anything with it. So I found this app, to be honest, useful is what I'll say.
So is it like SSH into your print spooler to see what's coming up next and what's going on now?
To me, it's better than that because what you can do is with your other apps like FX File Manager, you can tap into that printer spool, make a copy of it to your phone, and then you open it up in a renderer so you can see how it would look, that file rendered out. Because when you do a printing, you're basically taking a bunch of lines and you're rendering it out to a three-dimensional object. Instead, we're rendering them just to an image on your screen.
But it's getting the information from your printer?
Well, the same file, the G code file format is the exact same file format that you send to your printer to print.
Okay. So you send that to this app and to your printer.
Yep.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then I can see it. So it makes
Nice.
me feel more rest assured. Now, between me and you, Eric, I don't have it down here. I would show it to the guys in the audience. I spent too much money. I spent too much money. I spent too much money. When I went to Disney World, I bought a Darth Vader backpack, and I was as giddy as a little girl. On the back, it's basically like Vader's helmet and Vader's face all on the back. And I got it and I'm wearing it and I feel awesome. Once in a great while, like once every week or so, I'm just walking and somebody says, "Hey, cool backpack." I want to turn back and say something sarcastic, like, "Yeah, I know." But, I can't because I'm a nerd. So I just, "Oh, thank you," and just keep walking.
Dude, that's awesome. Nobody ever tells me cool backpack.
Well, but this is what I figured out. Now what I figured out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn all my backpacks into something like this.
Oh,
So
yeah.
so I don't have to spend 60, $80 for a backpack. I can buy any backpack I want, measure it out, get the measurements, go into my 3D designing software or download a Darth Vader helmet, slice off just his face, put it into my program, put a back on it, print it with like 5% infill. So it's not filled, only 5% of it has filling in it. And it's there for support structure. So I can have a flat back, a face of Vader, really super crazy light. Go to the craft hobby fabric store, buy some black fabric, basically glue on the front and just push it down, have like an inch around the whole edge of extra fabric, double it over so it's a little bit thicker, glue Velcro straps to it, go to my backpack, put Velcro on the backpack where it's at, slap it on, bam, I got myself any backpack is now a Vader backpack moving forward. And if I need to access the pockets that are facing like straight back, I just pull the mask off, zip, 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 and the Velcro pops off and I get to all my pockets.
Well, and if you need to switch away from the dark side real quick, you could just, throw on a Luke or something real quick.
The Luke would look creepy, I'm pretty sure, and nobody wants a C3PO. Well, somebody wants a
Yeah,
C3PO.
they do. Oh, yeah, somebody does.
But the problem with this whole idea is it doesn't matter how cool I think it is. I can't sell any, like go on Etsy and sell any because it's
Yeah.
a violation of trademark and copyright thing. So I'm going
So
to ask my son if he wants to create something you would think would be cool: a face, a shape, a design.
Podnutz emblem.
Podnutz. Well, that would be a little bit difficult, but possible. And cloth is really cheap. Glue is really cheap. The material is really cheap. Even if I do a real life person head size Darth Vader in actual material, it's literally like maybe $1.
Hmm.
I mean, it's super dirt cheap.
So could you use this app as a print preview, or does the program that you're using to print in already give you a pretty good print preview of what you're going to be printing out?
The slicers give me insanely good previews of what's coming
Okay.
out, but it's the kind of thing I'm either on the road and I'm not at my full desktop computer, or I'm sitting by my printer and I want to verify, like show my son, this is what I'm printing. Instead of trying
Yeah.
to describe, oh, it's round and it has like 8 little smoky things coming off the side, but they're really not smoky. They're really more like nubs, and they're not. I mean, it's easier to just look at things sometimes.
Can you manipulate the image at all in this app, or is it just a one plane? Can you move it around in 3 dimensions?
Well, you can move it around in 3D. You can even see the print line, so you can see like the path of where it's going to go. But think of this as like an Office viewer. Like if you're on a machine that doesn't have Microsoft Office installed and you need to open up a Word document, you can still download the Microsoft viewer.
Gotcha.
So think of it like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Great
and
app.
I've already used it more than a couple times in the last week or two.
I know it's hard for you to get to the post office store, but someday you need to just drop something you've printed in the mail so I can verify for everybody
Well,
that you're being productive with the new machine.
and it's not that I don't believe Liam Tidwell, because I know he would never steer me wrong under any circumstance unless it's really funny. But what
True.
I didn't know was PayPal has some kind of merchant shipping type service. I don't understand it. Somehow I can go into PayPal, I can say I'm going to ship something, and I guess print out a label or
Oh,
something.
like Indicia?
What, bless you. What?
That's a company called Indicia. People pay with PayPal and it prints a shipping label.
Indicia.
Indicia, yeah.
Yes. I'm guessing it's something like that. But I said, well, that's not going to help me a lot, Liam. The problem isn't packaging it up and getting a label. The problem is getting my butt to the post office to ship it out. So
Right.
so I was thinking I need to do a stamps.com thing, put the kid on the payroll, force him to do manual labor like a good American does,
Mhm.
make your kid do work and then pay him in pennies, make him know what it's like to get taxed. And have him package up things, put it in a box, take it out front. The mailman's here by 3 at 2:00 during the summertime, take it out, put it in the front step, log into stamps.com, tell him to pick up a box from my house. I'm thinking that's the only way I'm going to get stuff done.
And
But
stamps.com, you could have some cool looking Podnutz stamps made too.
whatever. If the listeners know of a way it's going to be easier for me to get things out of my house and to another person's residence. The problem is also, I don't care. Anyone from the post office listening, I'm talking to you. Post office by my work in a place called Brooklyn Park, Maryland. The employees there will take random 3-hour lunches where I've literally showed up at 12 and waited till 3 until they unlock the doors again.
How does that's got to be criminal.
Because they're like a crew and they do what they want to do. And that's what the person who was waiting with me said, because she said, I know, I used to work in this very office. And then if I go to another office down in Glen Burnie, I can sometimes have to wait 40 minutes just to make it up to the counter. Again, I ain't got time for that.
The post office in Glen Burnout?
Yes, exactly. So I don't have time for that either. I mean, I have a limited amount of lunch, and not trying to sound stupid, people. I really enjoy when given the opportunity to do genuine work at work. Don't ask any further questions, people. You'll just be disappointed. So it isn't like when I'm doing work, I can leave for 2 hours and go to the post office. Even if I could fill out a leave sheet and do it, it's not the point. I don't want to. I like doing work. So I need another way to get packages shipped. And if Liam Tidwell's listening to me, of course I believe you, Liam. Of course I believe you, Liam. I'm just going to say that out loud. Okay.
Yeah, you could get a UPS account and schedule things to be picked up but no, I think stamps.com thing's probably the easiest. That's probably the right way I think you're on the right track.
UPS will also pick up from my house.
Yeah.
And now the dumb question is, do you know if it's weight, 3 dimensions plus weight determines the price?
It's 3 dimensions. I don't know that it's weight on UPS.
Okay, because one of the reasons I use regular snail mail today in the United States USPS is because they have what's called priority mailboxes. If it fits, it ships. Doesn't matter how much it weighs. So I know how much everything's going to cost before I even get there. And that's my excuse for using it. I got to stop using it, and we got to stop talking about that.
So in the chat room, they said the solution simple door. You have a drone, haven't you? I don't know the door has I have a drone, but I know the batteries aren't going to make it to Maryland to go pick up my anything from door.
Say something. If I did have a drone, I live in a town with lots of people who are Caucasian of color with pickup trucks. There's no way it would make it to the post office. I will bet anything it would be shot down. not with a net gun, not with an electric gun, but with like a 22 rifle or something, or 30-06.
I'll tell you what, man. We had a beer garden at our Sesquicentennial over the weekend, and we had bands playing. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this drone just rises up above the stage, hovers there for a second, then flies over the crowd. Everybody was just going nuts, man. Nobody was. It was people. It was fun. People were really enjoying it. It was kind of cool.
Gotcha. I'm gonna bring a game now, Eric, just because
All
I'm a
right.
I'm a retro nerd, and I have no problem admitting it. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry. Right now the game is completely free, but it's only free for I think another 2 days. We record Thursday night, so before Sunday, before the show gets released, it's going to go back to a $1.49. I'm going to put a link in the notes to the not paid version, but to the Lite version, which is free. And then if you
Okay.
decide, I need this game, you'll be able to upgrade to it at the same price. This is like Space Invaders, with the edges softened, colors emphasized, abilities enhanced, power-ups, extra power-ups, bosses as well. A very like made with much retro love style. And you even have stuff like shields. You can do combos. You can get like enhancements where you're basically like 3 ships side by side with double barrels, so you're shooting 6 bullets at a whack. It's a cross between, I would say, Space Invaders, Galaga, and modernism.
Yeah, I mean that you got it described pretty well. It's called Kosmik Revenge. Kosmik
Gotcha.
Revenge.
I didn't fit. Okay, I kept trying to figure out how to pronounce it. Kosmik.
So yeah, you described it well. I mean, it looks very intense, and I would have to say difficult. How was it? I mean, was it forgiving in that gameplay?
No,
Oh yeah,
no.
no, that's gonna be tough then.
It was easy.
Yeah.
Beginning, well, I'll put it like this. In the beginning, it was very easy. In the beginning and middle, it was kind of fun. Towards the end of me playing it, it was really challenging. Um, a little bit of fun, but just got kind of hard, difficult, not upsetting difficult, but like, wow, this is crazy difficult.
It looks like it.
Yeah, but it was definitely fun while it lasted. Easy $1.50 worth of money spend.
What does it break your screen when you die? Looks like there's a shattered screen in one of the screenshots.
Yeah, they kind of go for that effect, I'll say.
So, so is this game's got to be easier on a tablet, right? Or oh,
uh,
your GPD probably. The controls will probably be pretty nice on that.
it was really good on the GPD. I will say, but a larger screen, I can see how this would be easier. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Next app I'm going to bring is another. Well, it's a health and fitness app. Note to self: write this on the calendar. August 10th,
Yeah.
2017. DoorToDoorGeek brings an app that's technically in the health and fitness section. Now, I don't want you to have a stroke, Eric. So I want you to breathe. Okay. You'll be all right.
Okay. All right. We're good. Yep.
Because this really has nothing to do with health. So says our health insurance, because it won't cover this kind of thing. I have been wearing glasses literally since I was 6 months old, Eric. Literally, my eyes were so bad. I was so discombobulated. At 6 months old, my mom's like, he's reaching for the bottle of milk or formula and he can't, and he keeps missing it. And the doctor's like, what do you mean he keeps missing it? She said, look, and she put something down in front of me and I reached for it. And I was like, my little bitty hand was like 6 inches to the left. And the doctor's like, oh, you're blind. Here, let's put these glasses on him. Now when I go to buy glasses, it's easily $400. Doesn't matter where I go. Doesn't matter if I go to cheap places like America's Best. Doesn't matter if I go to old places like United Optical. Doesn't matter if I go to newer places like Pearl Vision. Doesn't matter if I go to some place like Lens Crafters. It's about $500. It's just expensive everywhere I go. Even if I get the cheapest frames I can possibly find, what my father-in-law would call BCGs, birth control glasses, because they're so ugly. It doesn't matter. They're still $400.
Wow.
Even if I get no UV protection, no tinting, minimal scratch resistant, and they're literally like a quarter inch, a half an inch thick lenses, they're still $400. So I won't go to any of them places anymore. They're ripoff. Side tangent. Adam ruins everything. I'm not saying that guy, if you never heard of him, he's on True TV and he's on YouTube. Adam ruins everything.
Mhm.
Just search for him, watch 2 or 3 of his videos. They're typically like 7 minutes long. I'm not saying he's right,
Right.
but I will say I think he's more right about a lot of things than what a lot of other people say about the very same thing.
Gotcha.
And he always references articles, studies, and other people who write about the same thing. So he actually citations, what is it, gives,
Yeah. Yeah.
he tells you where the information is coming from.
Footnotes.
Yeah.
You know, and Adam, I've watched a lot of his videos, and some of them are fine. There are certain items though that I have personal experience with that he's been completely wrong about, which is fine though.
Example.
I can't. I was trying to think of what it was.
Then it's null and
Off the,
void.
then it's
like
off the top of my head, I can't. Oh, it's a recent one.
Then you can't say it then. Okay.
Something I watched recently on his show. I know was not correct.
The one I can tell you where he was absolutely correct. There has never in all, university, college, and scientific studies ever a study that said you should drink X amount of water per day. There is no study. No one says you should drink 4 ounces, 5 cups, whatever. Nobody gives any number to how much you should drink. And the reason is we have this built-in monitoring and alerting mechanism built into our body that's been finely honed for whether you think we've been here for 6,000 years or 200,000 years. It's been over time finely tuned. It's called, if you're thirsty, drink something.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if you're not thirsty, stop drinking something, because too much water can literally kill you. Granted, it isn't popular, but there was this one case, this woman trying to win this Nintendo Wii for her kid. Get it, Wii. So the goal was to drink as much water as you can without going to the bathroom. She died later that night. So you can die from it. So drink when you're thirsty. Don't drink if you ain't thirsty. Problem solved. There's no amount you have to drink.
So you're probably talking about the one where he says the conspiracy behind your glasses.
And that was one that I already knew. I already knew for a fact. When you walk into these stores and they say Bausch and Lomb and all these different names of glasses, they're all lies. Those companies don't make their glasses. They all sell the right for a company to put their name on their glasses. Every single pair of glasses in all those stores are made by at the most 2 companies. Now that I already knew. I also knew the places making the lenses are also few and far between, and it really comes down to popularity. The more popular your eyes, typically, the least bad, the better your eyes are, the cheaper the lenses, because they mass produce them more, they make them more, they know how to make them better, the QA on them is better, and because of that, they're cheaper. Mine, one eye is 200 plus, and the other eye is 2120, which basically means legally I can sit home, suck off the government, and get paid. But I don't. I work. So what I do now is I go online and buy my glasses. Here's where the app comes in. When you go to get your eye per prescription, they'll give you 3 sets of numbers: cylinder, sphere, and I can never remember the axis. Maybe is the last number.
All right.
And those 3 numbers are 3 different measurements on your eye, each eye. So you get 6 numbers. What they always fail to give you on purpose in any of those stores is what's called the pupillary distance. And it's sometimes 1 number. If you have a perfectly symmetrical face like Brad Pitt, they only give you 1 number. Me, they give me 2 numbers because my eyes are not equal distance from the middle of my face. So I have 2 numbers. And the pupillary distance is how far away from the center of your face are the pupils of your eyeballs. If those numbers are off, or if those numbers are bad, and you go to order your glasses online, you will have a horrible experience. And these physical buildings know that. So they never give you those numbers unless you explicitly ask for it. A lot of people I know are extremely uncomfortable to get their eye exam, go out, get their pupillary distance, ask for the number, and then say, I'm not buying a pair of glasses here. You know what I mean? They feel like they're somehow being unauthentic, mean, or whatever.
Do you know what the experience is if you do not have those numbers correct? Because I've
You,
purchased glasses and I had a weird prism effect one time. And I could never figure out
oh,
why.
they will never work right. They'll either give
Oh,
you blasting headaches or you put them on and you're like, these glasses are crap. You know
okay.
what I mean? You have to have this number. You have to have this number. I cannot enforce it. It's just as important, if not more important, than those other numbers. Okay, here's the app. Pupillary distance meter, PD meter. Did I put the link in the chat?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. What all this is, it's a selfie selfie
Dang.
app.
Dora brought a selfie app and a health app.
Oh my god, I almost puked my mouth. Okay. This is
August
a
10th.
This is a selfie app. Now, what you do is you take a credit card. The reason you take a credit card is all credit cards are the exact same size. You basically take the credit card, hold it up to your lips beneath your nose. So it's basically equal distance from the camera from your eyes. So you don't want to hold the camera up real high. You don't want to hold the camera up real low. You want to try to hold it eye level or nose level if you can, where that lens is. And then you take a selfie. And then what you do is you click on the card, you drag the edges to the edge of the card, then other dots will appear. Then you drag those edges to the middle of your eyes, and then it gives you your pupillary distance.
Hmm.
So you can get it yourself. And I can tell you my numbers were one off. Well, point one off. Mine was like, I want to say 35.5 and 35.3 kind of thing. So it added up to 70.8 or whatever. And the number I got was 70.9. I think it was
Wow.
literally 0.1 off. So I felt really good about that because I'm the guy, I don't care. I walk up to him and say, give me my pupillary distance. First off, they're shocked I even know what the word is. And then I say, thank you. She said, what kind of frames are you looking at? I say, oh, I'm looking online. And then I just leave. I didn't say I wasn't buying from them. I just said I'm looking at them online. So then I go home, buy the glasses, even for upgraded frames, upgraded lenses, 3 different levels of thinness. I picked the thinnest frames possible. I picked the double scratch resistance protection. I picked the highest UV protection on it, $120.
Where's this from?
I've used a couple sites. I've used Zenny Optical, and in the past I used Glasses Shop, I believe it's called. They're both about the same price. The one I like about this one is I can buy different colored snap-on sunglasses, and even if I break my glasses, I can go back. Even if I break my sunglass clip-on, I can go back to their site, buy another pair of clip-ons for like $1.50. So they got me. They sold me. So now instead of buying one pair of glasses sometimes every 4 years because it's so hard for me to separate with 400 friggin' dollars. Realistically, I was supposed to get a pair every 2 years. To split with $400 is not easy for me for eyeglasses. Now, since they're less than $150, I literally get like a pair every 8 to 10 months just because I can.
So you got your prescription from your doctor who you actually bought glasses in the past from?
Yes, and who I'm never going to go back to because I went back early for a prescription checkup, and he's like literally 90 years old. And he asked me, "Why are you here? The last time you were here was only like 14 months ago. You're only supposed to be here once every 2 years." I said, "Well, I was recently diagnosed with diabetes, and I know diabetes can affect your eyes, and
Hmm.
the Legend of Zelda book that we got book we got that book at like 3 weeks before I was diagnosed with diabetes, and I noticed when I opened the book I couldn't read the damn thing. The text was too small. I literally couldn't read the thing. So I said, no, I'm just going to check it out, kind of thing. And I was just diagnosed with diabetes. So nothing really changed physically for me yet. And he went on to berate me for 20 minutes, telling me how if your doctor told you diabetes is caused by sugar, he's an idiot.
Oh,
To which all I could think was, I'm really happy you're not my doctor or my new new nutritionist. And after this, you're not my optometrist.
Well, I mean, I got to give the guy props for saying you didn't need to be back here so soon. I would never have a doctor anywhere that I've been to say that to me. So
Yeah.
that's a good thing. So what's your plan for your next eye exam?
Oh, there's plenty of places around here. There's the one I'm probably going to go to is the Wilmer Eye Institute, which is one of those places where in the parking lot it's nothing but Mercedes Benz and BMWs and Porsches and
So
Teslas and
eye
stuff.
surgeons probably work there.
Better ones, yes. And honestly, that's the one thing I'll say. If you go to places like America's Best, the optometrist you get to take care of you work there for a reason. You know, it's kind of like going to McDonald's and complaining about the service you're getting. You're kind of at McDonald's, so you know you'll have that.
Cool. Well, so the glasses you got on look they're new, right?
But yeah, I've had them maybe 3 months, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember seeing those side things. Yeah, because I do need to get my I'm one of those guys who probably should care more about his body than he does, but like my contact lenses, I'm supposed to change out every week. I'll go for a year if I can with them. It's fine. I don't sleep in them. I take them out. If I see calcium build up on them, I'll get rid of them. But I don't see the doctor nearly as much as I probably should, and I'll need to go back. But I don't. I don't want to buy glasses there. I'd like to try one of the online shops. Now, this app that you brought, the Pupil Distance app, this has to do with your lenses, not your frames, correct?
No. This tells them where the middle of your eyeballs are at. So where your lens should be, where the middle focal point of your lens should be.
Okay,
Where the middle focal point of your lens should be it can change what frames you can and can't have.
gotcha. Okay,
So like when I go look at frames, if I go to the wrong site, I want to say it was Glasses Shop, and I type in my prescription and I browse for frames. Oh, I like that frame. Click on the frame. Oh, I like that. Okay. Go here. Start the process. Okay, buy it. Okay, I want this color. Okay, I want these clip-ons. Okay, I want these lenses. Okay, I want these scratch resistance. Okay, I want this UV. Okay, I want this prescription. Oh, I can't use these frames because it doesn't match with my prescription.
it didn't knock that out of your
No,
availability right off the bat.
it didn't do it
That's-
first. So every time it took me like 2 minutes after finding a frame to figure out it didn't fit until I went to Zenny Optical. Now, it's easier.
So when you say Zenny Optical, Zeny,
I believe it's Zenny.
Zenny Optical,
And they're not the cheapest. I'm sorry, Zenni Optical.
Zenny Optical. Okay.
And I'm not going to say they're the cheapest. They were definitely fair priced, is what I'm going to say. They definitely had not the best selection. They definitely had a good selection. I love the fact that my clip-on sunglasses, like, they don't fit perfectly. They fit perfectly enough for me to be happy with them. You can get the metal, you can get the vintage, as they call them. Again, my father-in-law would call them BCGs, glasses. Yeah, just good choices, good colors. They even have that stupid feature where you can take a selfie and you can see yourself in the glasses.
Oh, so they have an app? They may even have an app for that. Who
Don't even
knows?
need it. It's just right on your website.
Nice. All right, Dor. Do you have so we've covered a lot of apps today, and I
Hmm.
will review them in a second. But do you have some more? Oh,
I have one
please.
more that I'm going to throw out there because I have to throw out there.
Okay.
Nintendo Switch selling like game busters. This is a game that is coming to Nintendo Switch really soon, and I like the fact that I was able to get a early look at it on my Android device. called Prison Architect. Prison Architect is actually, from what I'm led to believe, a pretty popular game. This is Prison Architect Mobile, so it's not the exact same thing, but it definitely, to me, looks like everything I've seen in PC versions of it. By Paradox Interactive, mature 17 and up. This is a game about prison. You'll have that. 1,395 reviews, in-app purchases, no ads, completely free to download. 3.3 reviews, 50,000, 100,000 installs. Version 2.0.3 updated August 4th, 2017. There is a video in the Play Store. This is a game about prison. You are the warden. You have to take grant money. You have to build. You have to extend. You have to upgrade your prison. You have to hold more people. More people gives you more grant money. More grant money lets you enhance your prison. You have to add things like maximum security sections, yards, kitchens, all that stuff. I don't want to say it's a stupid fun game because it's not a stupid fun game. It's a strategy game, like a simulation builder kind of game is what I'm going to say. And it's pretty popular. So now it's also on the Android operating system, if you wish. On a small phone, this doesn't seem right to me. You need to have a tablet or a Chromebook that can run Android apps.
Did you play long enough for your inmates to set your entire prison on fire, take over?
No, I only had enough prisoners that maybe might have gotten to a pillow fight. There wasn't really that many.
By Paradox Interactive from Stockholm, Sweden.
Yeah.
Good prisons. All right, Doors. What else do you want to tell the listeners before we end it off tonight? Anything?
I want to thank everyone for their support. Thank Todd for his emails. Mark Cockrell. Eric, you are a damn fine host. I would pick no one above you to be host. And I'm really looking forward to Mark coming back just because it means less stress on both of us.
Are you going to Northwest Linux Fest?
I ain't going nowhere. Uncle Sam has me in such a bind. I ain't doing nothing.
Well, I thought that was the case, and then I saw an email from Cody Cooper the other day. It's like, man, it got me itching. I'll tell you, I have to say.
I'm happy you got an email from him. I haven't heard from him in like 2 months.
Well, maybe it was accidentally sent to me because I didn't.
Northwest Linux Fest has already come and gone. It was around the end of April.
Well, how did that? I guess I don't even know how I saw it then. That was weird.
I don't know, but I want to thank everyone for their support. I will say to this: if anyone out there has sponsors that they would like to hear on the show, companies they like dealing with, hit me up. Mail at podnutz.com. If you want to send emails into the show, mail at AAA at podnutz.com. If you want to send in voicemails, 7076 Podnut is our phone number. I need to put that phone number in the notes now that I say that out loud. I don't think it's in the notes. If you want to drop by and watch us live, Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Once again, if you go to the notes, we have a direct link in the page where you can go and you can watch us live and you can interact in the chat with us as we do the show.
Yeah, that's fun too. So I'm going to give us a quick app roundup. WWE Tap Mania by Sega. Island Unreleased by Oasis Feng. This is Wabbitemu by Buckeye Dude. Upside Down by Gilp. Pi SD Card Imager by Mike Redrobe. Logic Traces by In Games. I didn't count to see how many there are, but there's got to be about a dozen here. Aqueducts by UA Joytech. Graphite by Tangent Lines. Cosmic Revenge by Realtech VR. Oh, that's kind of a VR maker who made that game. That's kind of weird. And Pupil Distance PD Meter by Tech Positive, and the last one was Prison Architect Mobile by Paradox Interactive.
12.
That felt like 12. All right. Well, thanks for listening, guys. We will talk to you next week, and send us some emails and let us know what we have not discovered that you have discovered that you want to share with us. We'll see you then.
Recording,
See,
Audacity. See, I told you we didn't need a lot of apps.
yeah.
I forgot to go in the chat until like 5 minutes after the show started.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, me too.
Oh, good. I'm not the only one. I think I needed a new chair, Eric.
Yeah.
This chair is just too damn noisy now.
Man, go somewhere good and buy it, because I bought an expensive one at Staples and it sucks. This one I got here is a 40-year-old chair. It's beautiful.
I'm doing the opposite. I'm probably going to go cheap, go to IKEA, get like a $17 chair, because that doesn't pivot. If it doesn't pivot, how can it squeak?
Well, this one doesn't squeak. The one I got from Staples was a nice chair, and it is so noisy. And the old one that I had was probably 50 years old. I'm probably from 1963 when the building was built,
Right.
whatever age that is. And it squeaked the same amount as this 1-year-old Staples one.
Well, yeah,
I don't know if I could be comfortable without being able to swing back and forth a little bit, though.
Well, then where am I getting it? Well, the chair pivots. I can turn in it, but there's no leaning in it. In the chair that my son has, and I sit in that thing. It's hard. Don't get me wrong.